this question that I get so often on, whether it's workshops or call-in programs or somebody calling for help or coaching or whatever it is. Here's the question. Here's usually the way it bubbles up. How can I develop more self-confidence? How can I develop more self-confidence? Now, let me start with in one sense, and don't hear any of this binary all or nothing ways. I'm going to be talking about in the next few minutes. I'm going to be talking about a kind of a packaged developmental formula of that is a legitimate question. How can I develop self-confidence? Of how that happens. But there's something wrong with the question inherently in a certain way. You don't develop self-confidence in a certain way. Self-confidence is a result, not a cause. Self-confidence is a fruit. You develop the tree, and then it sprouts the fruit. What people want is they want to develop a feeling of self-confidence, and then they go proceed and perform well. Well, that's a problem for a number of reasons. And I want to delve into here for a second about the factors that go into this. But basically, let's start with what doesn't work, by and large. What doesn't work is just getting into some mental trick called self-confidence, and I believe in, affirmations, for example. One of the things that we do in our family, every time somebody has a birthday, we have the birthday dinner. We always do this, or on Mother's Day or Father's Day. Somebody ought to have a Children's Day. How about that? Hallmark. You could probably sell some cards if you did that. But on Mother's Day or Father's Day, what we do is we do affirmations. And that's where we go around the table, and whoever it is, whoever in our family, we talk about what we most appreciate about them and what affects us the most in good ways of their qualities or the way they show up or their gifts or abilities. It's a beautiful, beautiful time, and we all need that. We all need the little affirmations and declarations that we make. You are his workmanship, one of my favorite verses. You are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works that have been laid down beforehand so that you should walk in them. What a great affirmation that is to give you confidence, right? You're not a piece of junk. And what I love about that one, and this is why I pray that one specifically in my life a lot, for God to make me his workmanship for those good works. In other words, what that does is it ties purpose and future and what we do in life and what we do every day, we're lining up with how we're made. And see, when you get that, finding success in life and finding fruitfulness in life, it really, really changes when you understand that's not something that's necessarily elusive or impossible only for some people and not for others. See, some people think that success or having a good relationship or being, getting your finances figured out or, learning to be happy or all this kind of stuff, they kind of feel like that's some gosh, I don't know if I'm good enough for that. I don't know if I'm made the right way for that. And one of the things that's very, very, very powerful is when you realize and really get it through your head, you are God's workmanship, his piece of art, his creation that he made to be fruitful, to be successful in certain pathways that match you that he has laid down beforehand. Okay, now think about this. Apple has never made a computer that they didn't design and make to be able to work. God didn't make a human that he designed to not be able to work. So get it out of your head that fruitfulness or ever being confident is outside of the design or the reach for you. It's not. You are made to be fruitful, made to have good relationships, made to have fruitfulness in using your gifts and abilities and talents. You're designed for that. So once you start there, that's a pretty good affirmation to begin the program with. I literally pray that prayer, literally pray that prayer. It's in my prayer list. God, make me, keep molding me and shaping me to be able to be competent, to give me the gifts and knowledge and strengths and skills. As David says, strengthen my hands for the battles you're going to put me in. Give me the skills, the abilities. I pray that God downloads content to me all the time. Have me run across the right article, read the right book, go to the right continuing ed training, all of that. And see, he will do that. That's what he does for us if we're seeking and asking and receiving and awake. So that's a good way to begin this affirmation thing and finding out what your gifts and talents are. But that doesn't give you the feeling totally of being able to feel confident. Okay. So when somebody says, how do I develop more self-confidence? Well, you start with the affirmations and know that you have gifts, you have abilities, you have talents. You're made to like kill it. These gifts and talents are in you. You know who can sing and who can't. You know who can do numbers and who can't. You know who is good at organizing things and who can't. You know who can gather people together and who can't. None of us can do all of that. But everybody can do something because that's your gifts, that's your talents. So those are good affirmations. But that doesn't automatically make us feel confident, the feeling of confidence. So what does? Well, let me ask you a question. This is the simplest way I know how to describe this. This is what I tell people and say, how do you develop self-confidence? You ready? Unless you were injured, understand that. How confident do most of you feel, if you're not otherwise infirmed? How confident do you feel right now if I said, I want you to get up and I want you to walk across the room and I want you to walk back? How confident do you feel? Could you do that without falling down? Could you do that in front of an audience? Could you do that broadcast on a worldwide network? I would bet that 99% of you would say, yeah, I feel like I can do that. Okay, that is confidence. That's confidence. Whoops, let me hit a button there. You feel confident. Do you feel arrogant, like you're better than everybody else? Do you feel wonderful? Do you feel like the king of the universe? No, you're just confident that you can walk across the room. All right, now let me ask you this question. Where did that feeling of confidence come from? Well, let's take you back when you didn't feel confident and you were 14 months old and you're teetering and tottering and mom or dad or grandma or somebody said, okay, let's walk across the room. And you grab their hands and your eyes got this big and you're not confident at all and you fall down. Well, what happened then? Everybody went, yay! And you got back up and you tried it again, and you took a few more steps, you got back up, you tried it again. It wasn't very long, but it was a while, a little while. Might have been, I don't know, sometimes, what does it take? I forgot. Days, few weeks, continues to get better. And then finally, it's not long before you're running across the yard. Now, here's the thing. You're running across the yard. You're not running across the yard thinking after it's done, after you can run, you're not running across the yard when you're going to race whoever it is across the yard. You're not sitting there going, I'm confident, I can do this, I can do. You're not even thinking about it. That is self-confidence, because it's tied to original sin. Okay, let's talk about a religious word here. Original sin. What is original sin? Well, part of it, go back to the story, Satan comes along and says to the humans, you can be like God, knowing good from evil. In other words, said another way, you can cease to be human and be like God and be the judge. Well, that'll get in the way of your self-confidence. What if every step you take, you're not lost in the experience of running, but you're worrying about how well am I going to run? Am I going to be good or am I going to be bad? The knowledge of good and evil. I'm going to judge and evaluate everything I do. And if I do it well, whoopee, I go to heaven. If I don't, I go to hell. See, the whole problem originally is the judgment. I don't have confidence because I'm judging my inability and criticizing myself when I'm not able. Now, that's not what a toddler does. A toddler is unable, but doesn't judge themselves. They learn and they practice. And then the whole damn question, am I good or bad, just goes away, just like it does when you walk to the refrigerator. You're not evaluating yourself. Why? Because you practice and you got good at it. And now it's even relegated to the lower parts of your brain where you can do other things while you're walking. You're so confident. So where does it come from? Well, number one, it comes from the absence of judgment while you are learning whatever it is you're trying to be confident about. Getting the knowledge of good and evil out of the equation. So if we're trying to learn something new, we don't go to the Olympics the first time where they are judging you with divers judges cards. You get in the pool with mommy or daddy or somebody. They say, swim to daddy. You can go under and they go, good try. And they pick you up. And so we're learning how to swim, how to walk, how to throw a ball, how to catch a ball, how to paint a painting. Where does self-confidence come from? Basically, it comes from practice in the absence of judgment, in the absence of criticism. So the toddler falls down, somebody claps, they get back up. This is fun. They take another step. This is fun, even when I fall down. Everybody claps. Woohoo! And pretty soon the skill develops, and then you forget about it. And when you forget about whether or not you're going to be good or bad, what happens? You get lost in the experience. You stop trying to worry about failure. You get lost in the experience. Great athletes, and I can tell you this in sports, my whole life kind of has been spent in competitive golf, and I was really serious about it when I was younger. And all athletes will tell you this. You get sometimes in a zone and you're so lost in the experience. And I remember those moments on those days when you're in the zone and I'd set up over a shot and the flag's out there 180 yards, and I can feel it, I can see it, I can feel everything about what's going to happen. And I would hit the shot, and I don't even, I don't even, you're hypnotized. And all I can feel is where the hole is in those moments when you're just lost in the experience and it's close to perfection. Because you're not asking yourself, can I do this or not? Am I good enough? Am I going to fail? Am I going to hit it in the water? Don't hit it in the water. Don't hit it in the leg. Your brain can't not do something. It can only do something. So how does that come? Well, it comes from practice. So what do you want to feel more self-confident about? Well, go practice without judgment. And when you fail, laugh. Maybe you want to feel more confident in having a confrontation. Okay. Be a toddler. Why don't you, if you can't confront people or be direct or set boundaries, say no, why don't you get a friend and let's, just like kids go shoot hoops in the backyard, hey, let's go practice saying no to each other. And the other one get defensive and gaslight and be toxic and name call and stay in there and say, well, that's not what I said. Here's what I'm saying. And until you hear this, I can't, it's not much I can do till you hear it. And then they name call, and then you repeat yourself. And then you start to get pretty good at this. Practice. That's where self-confidence comes from. And when you're self-confident, guess what? You're not even feeling self-confident. The question goes away.